All right. Well, are there any like personal or life-touching moments that pro wrestling's ever had on your life, or any positive or negative influences? Like, how's pro wrestling touched and affected you?
That's a deep one. So, actually, going back, like, I lost one of my uncles a couple years ago, and he was pretty much the biggest supporter I ever had in wrestling as far as, like, wanting to do anything. I can still actually go back on the WWE Network and see my uncle because of that. Like, he's on an episode of Thunder, just sitting there, and I can go back and actually make eye contact with him on an episode and still, like, feel like he's watching me do what I do now. Like, that's
awesome.
Yeah, like, it's one of those things that I can actually connect with. And also, my aunt passed away not even 2 weeks ago. Or, shoot, it wasn't even a little over a week ago, actually. And I went back to Virginia and worked for a company back there. And she was the only one of my stepdad's family to make the trip down with my mom, sat ringside, and supported me in my first match back in Virginia. And then she passed away this last week. And, like, it's hit home, but at the same time, it's like, I thank her for actually supporting what I did, because we all need that support system. It doesn't matter what line of work you're in. Being supported is being supported. But my family has always, wrestling's brought us closer together. Like, my cousin, who's currently fighting cancer back in Virginia, he has replica titles, like the big boys, not the cheesy stiff leather ones. He has, like, ones that were $600-700 a pop, and that was the first title I ever got to hold. Was the NWA heavyweight title. The
Dome Globe.
The Dome, yeah, and that pursued me to want to actually hold a title in the future. Like, it wasn't so much being in the business. It's like, I one day want to hold, like, a real title that's my own. But at the time, I didn't really think about the business being what it is. Now, hindsight 2020, I kind of wish I would have thought a little harder. But, like, my family's always been tied with wrestling. Like, anytime we got together in family outings or anything, me and my brother would be out in the front yard, and my uncle would be refereeing, me and him beating the crap out of each other, just slamming each other on the ground. Then it would always end with me getting in trouble because I had done choked my brother to where he turned blue, and they're like, "Don't hurt him, Greg. Don't hurt him, Greg." And it's like, oops. Like, I thought this was real. Like, I'm supposed to choke him until he can't move. Like, but it was always that thing. Like, we always came back to as pro wrestling. Like, did you watch this week's episode of Nitro or Thunder? Do you have new figures that you want to show us? You know, all this stuff. Like, every year for Christmas, that's all we ever got.
So it was a family bond.
Yeah, it was the glue that held us together. Like, so many of our families have passed on now. It's like we've lost some of the connection, but at the same time, they all message me, like, regularly now, and, like, we can't believe that we're actually getting to see you do it. Like, it used to be, are we going to watch wrestling this week? Now it's, when can we watch you wrestle? Like, it's one of those weird things. I mean, now I'm not really wrestling as much as I am refereeing, but at the same time, it's the same thing. They're watching me now instead of us sitting on a couch watching it together, and we're still bonding over the fact that wrestling's still in our lives and it's holding us together. So some people have church, we have wrestling.
I was just gonna say, so pro wrestling's pretty much like your grandmama that holds the family
pretty much,
together.
Yeah.
You know, the glue that keeps everybody.
Yeah.
Still
Where's everybody
talking?
meeting in on Sunday? We're meeting
exactly.
we're meeting at Granny's house.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's a true thing too. We all used to meet at Granny's house on Sundays, and that was like, there'd be like 100 of us in her little trailer, single wide trailer, eating mashed potatoes and whatever meat she picked out from the grocery store that week, whether it be from Winn-Dixie or what used to be the Piggly Wiggly back in the day. Some people get that reference. Good old Piggly Wiggly. But yeah, wrestling it's always been a glue for our family. It's always been a staple. Even though, like, I'm the only one that's ever crossed into it, it's always been there, no matter what.